like spot price, what refiners pay, what to pay customers, kind of that type of thing. We've kind of talked enough about the equipment you're going to need, your options for testing. We're going to get into this little topic here real briefly about refiners and what to pay customers, and then I'm actually going to teach you how to calculate the value of an item, probably one of the most important aspects. So, spot price. Spot price is just the current market value of gold. There are 1,000 ways to find it. You can, there's a lot of iPhone apps, there's a lot of websites, a lot of places have it listed. One of the main ones I use is www.kitco.com, and that's KITCO.com. Just my preference, it's one of the ones I use if I'm going to use a website for it. And once you find the spot price, that's really just what that's how you base what you're going to pay someone off. That's what the refiners are going to pay you off. Spot price is the same. Everybody's getting the same number. When the refiner checks it, no matter who they're checking it from, it's the same price as what you're checking it from. When you go to a refiner, each refiner has its own little quirks of the way it works, and depending on which refiner you go to, you're going to get paid a different amount. But in general, the least the refiners pay is 95%. This is only for gold, 95% for gold. That's kind of the least. On the upper end of that, it's about 98.5% gold. Or not, sorry, 98.5% of the value is kind of on the upper end of what they'll pay for gold. Whereas for silver, kind of on the lower end, I see them get down anywhere in the 85% range, kind of up or to 92% for silver. And I'm going to rewrite that a little bit to 98.5%. That's for gold. And then for platinum, generally about 88 to 90% for platinum. Platinum's kind of a hard metal to refine, so you kind of take a little bit more of a hit there. This number can even get down to 94 in the stuff. You can see 93 if you don't send them very much. But in general, 95. To 98.5% gold, or for your gold, 85 to 92 for your silver, and each refiner, like I said, is different. Some have it where if you don't send them enough, they charge you a fee, like an assay fee just to test your gold. Some have it set up where if you don't send them very much, they just pay you a lower percentage than this. You'll definitely see that with silver. If you don't send them very much silver, and I'm talking like 100 ounces or more, they're going to be paying you like 85%, sometimes even another fee in there. They really like it. You'd like you to send them quite a bit. And then there's a few that you'll come across that doesn't matter. No matter what you send them, you don't have one set price. The thing about refiners is, though, as great as they are, most refiners work on, especially when it gets busy, gold goes up, they get busy, they change a 1, 2, 3 week turnaround time. This is pretty crucial to know, because a lot can happen in 1 to 3 weeks when you're buying. In 3 weeks of buying, I could easily lose out on $15,000, $20,000 profit by, like, if I have my money tied up at the refiner. So, you know, there is a big cost to letting the refiner have your money this long. 1 week you might skate by, but there's no guarantee on it. It's whenever they get done processing that metal. So as soon as they get done with it, it could be 1 week, could be 3 weeks. Many refiners do not let you lock in the price either. You send it to them, the day they finish refining it, and the day they're going to pay you is the day they determine the value. So if you send it to them and gold's $17.25 an ounce, but over the course of that next week and a half it drops down to $1,610 an ounce, that's what you're getting paid on. You lost, you know, maybe 9% of your value here. That can make, you know, a huge difference in what you get paid. And if you lose 9%, it depends on the margin you're working on. If you're working on a 40% margin, it may not be that big of a deal. If you're working on a 10% margin and you're doing more of a high volume, it could be a massive problem for you. That's one of the other problems with refiners. Like I said, you gotta find each one of them. Some will let you lock in, not very many though. Most of it is whenever they get the metal done and processed, and like I said, kind of a long turnaround time. But these are the rough amounts you're going to be able to expect. We're going to have a sheet available for you that has, you know, kind of our list of refiners that you can trust and send your stuff to, and it will have a little bit of what they pay. It'll give you a link to their website so you can research them, determine which one you want to try. There'll be different ones around the country too, so you can try one that's maybe closer to you. So you'll be given those options in a sheet. I'm just kind of talking about refiners in general right here, but you will be able to look for that. The paperwork actually on the refiners there. Now, with refiners here, and we'll talk about in the next video, sending off to refiners, what you need to do, how do you need to package it, how to package up your item and stuff. But this is kind of the rough overview of refiners. Gold, 95, 98%. Silver, 85 to 92%. Platinum, 88 to 90%. 1 to 3 week turnaround time. They don't let you lock in. Your money's kind of at risk. And I will tell you a personal story here real quick while I'm erasing this. When I first got started in this business, It was the second time I brought or sent stuff off to the refiner. I had about 430 ounces of silver that I had sent up there. Because that was a fair amount for this refiner, he was taking a while to get it done, and he was really busy. This was right when silver was climbing and climbing. It was like every couple days you checked, it was climbing $2 and $3 an ounce. It just seemed like it was on its way up. And I had bought it at like $31 an ounce, $32 an ounce. And it's getting up past 40, 42, 43, 44. And I'm going, oh my gosh. At some point I know this has got to get down, and I just want out of this. And I kept checking with the refiner. He told me 2 weeks. I checked in 2 weeks. He told me another week. I checked in like 4 days. He said it was going to be another 10 days. And finally, after literally just over 4 weeks, I went into his office and I was like, I'm not leaving until you pay me. You have already told me 10 times that it was going to be, a week from that point. I kind of exaggerated there, but it really was. I mean, twice he had told me one more week. I couldn't keep waiting. One, I needed the money. Two, I was nervous. I didn't have it locked in. I didn't want it to go down. So on Friday, it was Friday afternoon, he paid me for the whole lot. And silver had hit $48.50 an ounce. And at that point, closed for the week. And when it opens Sunday afternoon, actually the world market opens on Sunday afternoon, it tanked, and it just started tanking, and the silver went down to like 28, I think 26 or 28 an ounce. Ultimately, I would have lost a ton of money had I let him do it. I got really fortunate, though, that I ended up being able to make a little bit extra than I had planned to keep me going, because it was really money I needed in the beginning. Had I had that major loss, I mean, I can't even imagine the setback it would have had. It could have changed everything. It was a massive problem for me, waiting 4 weeks. I mean, it was killing me at that point. And I had used all the money I had borrowed money from my parents, I had borrowed money from my girlfriend. I had so much money borrowed that I needed this to go through. I couldn't let him keep it any longer, and I'm really glad I pushed for it. The reason why I'm telling you this, though, is it's something you need to consider and be cautious of, that being able to turn your money quicker in this business is honestly one of the most valuable things. Even if you take a little bit smaller cut, you can get out there and keep buying, and that's what's important. Getting that profit today and getting that instant paycheck where you made money today is so important. Instead of waiting, for the chance of making 3-4% more sometimes, but having it wait 3 weeks. And I'll talk more about what I'm talking about, is using someone who can actually